So, all right, guys, we got to get this one right. On three, we're going to say, welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts Flowing in Mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to Mind.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we
We did our
back. And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that
and
matters.
we
What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcaster with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thickpan, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. Wow, the first day of quitting smoking is finally in the books. And I'm going to just tell you right now, this is definitely a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. Like, it is definitely a lot harder. And I say it in the sense that for those who don't know, I've been smoking cigarettes since I was like 19, and I'm not doing it for no like a health reason or to feel superior and to say like, yeah, I quit smoking. I really just got tired of being tired all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I really just got tired of my shortness of breath. Like, I couldn't do basic things without having shortness of breath. It wasn't because people were saying, oh, you smell like cigarettes and all of that. Like, I could care less. Like keep that exact same energy when you saw me. It really came down to, I was so sick and tired of being short of breath all the time. And when I say like the first workout of me not smoking a cigarette that day, I felt like Goku when he turned Super Saiyan for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, I have never had that much energy before. I've never had that much energy before. Like, I'm talking about like I'm doing my workout and thinking like, damn, should I add more reps? Because I've never had that much energy. Normally I'm tired. Normally I'm out of breath. Normally something's not right. But this time around, so I definitely am excited to like see this journey. And I just really want to just take a moment and just say thank you to everybody that's been sending me all these positive affirmations. Like, the vibes are real. I know the vibes and I appreciate the vibes. But just like Friday and the Friday before that and the Friday before that and the Friday before that, this ordinary podcaster asked for extraordinary thought and received so many. And today I can't wait to talk about this topic because this topic resonates within me on such a level that I could not even explain it if I didn't have this podcast, if I didn't have proper preparation, if I didn't have all the things that I needed to explain it the way that I wanted to explain it. So with that, no further introduction, let's get started for today. What I want people to understand as we dive into this episode is that hard work beats talent, period. Matter of fact, hard work beats talent. And I hope you can hear those claps. And I say that from experience. I say that right there. And this ain't a shot to anybody who has a talent towards a thing. No, this is not a shot towards you. In fact, I wish I had talents towards things. But my issue is the ones who are okay with just having a talent. Talent only gets you so far, and I'll talk about that in today's episode. But before we go into it, I just want you to understand that hard work beats talent, period. And I'm a living testament to that. I'm really a living testament to hard work pays off. I've always been the underdog. And now that I really think about it, I did in my very first episodes, I think it was episode 6, episode 7. I talked about being the underdog all the time. And I didn't really talk about how hard I've worked. See, I remember when I was like, I was about a PFC, so I was about like 20 years old. And needless to say, I'll be 100% transparent with everyone. I did have an attitude. I was one of those dang on Dream Marines that a lot of people like was like, he ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna go far in his military career. I was one of those. And as I started to get and started to find my footing and started to understand how the military worked and learn the game and start to be able to play it in the way that everybody else around me was playing it, I remember coming up to one of my sergeants, and I think I was a Lance Corporal. I think it was about 2011. Yeah, 2011. And I remember going up to him. And at this point right now, I'm starting to become the cat's meow. People are starting to recognize me. I'm not that troublemaker anymore. I've started to make that transition into a good Marine. And I remember, because I had been seeing a lot of Marines go up on boards. And I want to further my career. I want to pursue greater things. And I remember going up to him and I asked, I said, hey, Sergeant, how do you get up on a meritorious board? He looked me dead in the face, and said, you will never go on a board. You ain't board material. I remember that. That what he said was engraved into my mind, and it'll be something that I will always remember. And I remember that it hurt in a way that the reason why it probably hurt the most is because not because I expected him to believe in me. No, I actually hated the guy, but because I had seen all these other people go on these boards. And one thing that I learned is that being in the military, you it's almost like a supernatural thing. You see the way that some people excel in it. It's almost supernatural. Like no matter what the situation is, they're always good at it. They just have a natural talent in it. They just know what to say. They know how to carry themselves. It was like their entire upbringing was made for the military. So all they did was just make a transition from high school into the military, and boom, here they are succeeding. We've all known those people. You know, the ones that's just been meritorious everything. You know, the ones that just can't do no wrong. You know, the ones that just know exactly what to say. People just naturally gravitate towards them. Yeah, I was never one of those people. I envied those type of people because I felt like I just felt like, why can't I do what they're doing? Let me rephrase. What is it that they are doing that I'm not? And I remember when he told me that I wasn't going to be board material, because I sat back and I studied. I paid attention to everybody. I listened to the way that they interacted with each other. I studied their movements. Not only did I study their movements, I even changed the way that I spoke a little bit. You know, I took the attitude out of the way I spoke. I stopped colloquializing in front of everybody. And I just really just started to train myself. Not in the sense to give up who I was, but to train myself to be able to adapt in that situation and excel within my field and amongst my peers. I started to get out front more. I wanted to lead my peers, so I started to win my peers over and talk to my peers in a different manner than the corporals were talking to them. Next thing you know, my name gets called. And I'm the one that's getting nominated. I wasn't getting nominated for a board just yet. Hold on now. But it was the first time that they had ever did the Lance Cooper seminar. And they had nominated me amongst everybody else. Out of everybody else, they nominated my name first. And I remember my peers, they were looking at me. They were like, yeah, Thick Pen, you think you so much better than everybody because you going to Lance Corporal seminar and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't think I'm better than anybody. You think I'm better than you. And it kind of pissed me off because it was like, damn, you really don't understand how hard I worked to get to this point. And even then, though, my name wasn't really being considered for no boards yet. Fast forward, I graduate. Pros and cons come around. Next thing you know, once again, my name's starting to come up. And I remember the sergeants used to ask if we could promote any Marine. Who would that Marine be? And they would ask the corporals that, like, which junior Marine would it be? And they all said my name. It was crazy, right? What we didn't know is that was how the sergeants were picking which Marine they think should go on the meritorious corporal board. And by doing that, I had not only won the respect of my peers, so I also won the respect of my superiors, my corporals. They put me up on the meritorious corporal board. Needless to say, because of my shithead antics back in the day, I was not able to attend it, and it devastated me. It devastated me because here I finally got the opportunity, but I can't attend. But my name was considered. And this is why I always tell people you really got to take the small things into consideration. Celebrate your small victories, because I did have a small victory right there. But I really didn't celebrate my small victory because I was so devastated by the fact that I wasn't on the board attending it. I should have celebrated the fact that my name was considered. Fast forward, I get promoted. That same sergeant was there. He still said that, you will never be board material. And when I got my NJP, he definitely was there to say that you will never be board material now. Exactly what I had said. I ain't gonna lie, it did hurt. It did hurt a little bit. And I remember, and this is why I always tell people that who have ever faced some form of adversity. If you have ever faced some form of adversity, you have two opportunities right now. You can allow that load, that boulder to drag you down, or you can pick that boulder up and carry it up the hill. You have two opportunities. Neither task will be easy though. And I remember when he said that, because I picked that boulder up and I put it on my shoulders and I start walking up the hill. Fast forward, I go to my next unit. I become an MAI. The next time I ended up on another meritorious board. I end up on another, because of the NJP, I was always losing boards, needless to say. But I kept going. I won. It was crazy because I would go on and I would see that exact same person. Obviously, he had been promoted. And I greeted him. And the first thing that I said was, you remember when you said that I wouldn't be on a board? And he was like, no, I said that you weren't board material. I said, well, I guess I was. Because not only was I meritorious sergeant, but I also attended 3 other boards and NCO the quarter board. He was like, try to be humble for once. I said, I can't be. And for those who don't understand, I've always struggled with the idea of being humble because the odds have never been in my favor. People have always counted me out. And if you don't realize it right now, I've never really had the talent like everybody else had. I've always had to work for it. So when I finally get to what I have been working for, it's kind of hard to be humble when no one else believed in me but me. So when I celebrate me. But I really just want to go on the record and just let you know right now that hard work beats talent any single time. Every single time, hard work beats talent. And see, for those who don't understand, someone can be good at something, but through hard work, they can become great at that exact same thing. And you see it all the time. Somebody has a natural talent at singing. They pursue that craft, they fine tune that craft, and next thing you know, they just become extraordinary at it. You see some of the greatest athletes, some of them don't have a natural talent at it. And I was about to go off and start talking about it, but some of them don't have a natural talent at it. It was something that they had to learn. Michael Jordan, I can tell you right now, Michael Jordan is one of my favorite basketball players for one reason and one reason only: hard work. And I say hard work because if you look at Michael Jordan's earliest stats, first off, the guy didn't even make it on his high school basketball team the first time. Then goes into the NBA and has some low stats. I'm talking about C+ stats. But he didn't become one of the greatest of all time basketball players because of talent. He worked towards that. Kobe Bryant would sit after each game, would go back in there and steal, 100 jump shots? Hard work. Now you got to think about it. Kobe Bryant, he came straight out of high school into the NBA. That's talent. That's a natural talent right there. That was fine-tuned over years. But the thing is, and this is what I want people to understand, is that when you take your natural talent, when you find the talent that you have, and you add hard work to it, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. But a lot of times you see somebody that becomes victim to their own talent. And when I say they become a victim to their own talent, they think that their talent is going to get them all the way to the end of the finish line. Your talent was enough to get you to the starting point. Your talent might be enough to get you started in the race, but your talent won't get you to the finish line. See, you're going to have somebody who the odds was never in their favor. You gonna have somebody who everything was stacked against them, who nobody believed in them, who everybody had counted them out, who had been trying to get to this starting point for years and kept getting kicked back and finally made it. And he's about to come and smoke you. You don't even understand why, because you don't realize that hard work beats talent. Hard work beats talent. Talent is the starting block in order to reach the finish line. It's the starting block. See, but when you add that hard work, I just can't stress it enough. Because if you're listening to my podcast, you probably listening to it while you at the gym. If you're listening to my podcast, you probably listening to it on your way to work. If you're listening to it right now, you probably doing something proactive in your life right now. And I need you to crank it up a notch, because one thing is for certain is that hard work beats talent. And I can't stress that enough. And you're going to hear it echo throughout this entire episode. The only sad part is that, and I will say this, is that it's a beauty to have a talent in something. It truly is. Because a lot of us, we all have a talent. But a lot of times, we don't have a natural talent in the thing that we love. We don't. So it's a beauty to be able to have a natural talent in the thing that you love. But it's also, it can be a double-edged sword, because the thing is that when you have a talent in something, you already are starting at a certain point. Let me explain it. When you got a natural talent in something, say for example, you're naturally good at fighting, right? You come in, you already excelling above everybody at your level. Everybody else is at a 1. You already coming into the situation at a 10, right? You feel like it's good. This is easy. You know what? I'm going to keep going with it. I'm good at it. But you get bored, because everybody that came in at a 1, and while you at a 10, you smoking them. You smoking them. And the thing is that what you should be doing is challenging yourself, but you staying down there fighting them 1s when you should be fighting the 11 and 12 to boost your talent, to increase your fine-tune your craft. That's why I say it can be a double-edged sword, because if you do not fine-tune the natural talent, if you do not add hard work to it, you're going to allow those 1s that you was beating up on to catch up to you and surpass you. We see it all the time. We see it all the time. You see somebody that was really good at something, but after years of hard work, after working your butt off, you surpassed them. And they looking at you like, I was the one that was good. I want to leave you with this right now. And I always say it, somebody driving to a job that they don't want for money that they need. You know how somebody ends up driving to a job that they don't want for money that they need? You know what the selection process is? The selection process for that situation right there is because they picked the job that they was good at. They picked the job that they was good at. A lot of times we have a natural talent, but the thing is that sometimes that natural talent might be something that we're not even good at. That's something that we don't even love. A lot of times we have a natural talent in things that we don't even love. But that thing that we don't even love makes money, so we stick with it for the simple fact that we are good at it and it makes money, but we don't even love it. And we spend the rest of our lives doing something that we hate for money that we need, just for the simple fact that we were good at it. I want you to understand one thing as we close out for this episode for today. Hard work beats talent. Even if you feel like you're not even good at it, you keep going at it, you will be. Even if you feel like everybody passing you up, if you just stay consistent, I can assure you, you're going to be walking with them, and then you're going to pass them. Hard work beats talent. If you feel like right now that it's too easy, then it definitely is. And you need to crank it up. And with that being said, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned Mondays and Fridays. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at OMG It's Meech. Once again, that is Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled Meech. Stay hungry, stay motivated. And last but not least, like the podcast, share the podcast. And don't forget, this podcast was made for somebody to become a better version of themselves. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.